Tron Ares is the long-awaited sequel to the Tron franchise that has really gathered a cult following. Has it lived up to the hype? Was it worth the wait? And did it deliver for the fans? Let's find out. Hello everybody, welcome back to the Darwin's Room channel. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I appreciate your support as always. And of course, que lo que a mi gente del Caribe. Today we're going to be talking about Tron Ares. This stars Jared Leto, Evan Peters, and Greta Lee, as well as Jeff Bridges, and it follows two tech industry giants that are racing to find the permanence code that will allow the digital realm to enter our world. I was really looking forward to this movie. The trailer looked really interesting, really engaging, and I thought it would be a lot of fun. I recently watched the first two films. The first Tron movie from 1984, I think that it simply was restrained to its time, and it didn't have the technological capabilities that we have today to fully deliver on its really advanced concepts. But I really did appreciate it, and I can see why at the time it was such a classic, because I do appreciate what it was trying to set forth in motion. Tron Legacy, I really enjoyed. I had a lot of fun with Tron Legacy. I don't understand some of the critique on that one. I thought it was fantastic and a lot of fun and essentially a great soundtrack, and the visuals were excellent. Tron Ares now. This does have some really great visuals. In terms of the technical aspects, visually this movie is impressive. I like the camera work. There's some nice camera angles that they use and transitions, and I really enjoyed that piece of it. I did also like the soundtrack for this film as well. Audibly, it sounds very nice in terms of the music. It's engaging, it's fun, and it adds to the action sequences. There's a couple of really good action sequences in this film. Nothing remarkable or memorable, but enjoyable. And I can see how this film would be a guilty pleasure for some, or maybe some people will just flat out like it. However, I will say, I do not think this is necessarily what fans were hoping to see from this. I think that a lot of people are going to be really let down by this film. And I myself, I do wish that they could have ironed out some of the issues that I saw with it before this movie was released. There was so much that they could have improved upon, and therefore they just dropped the ball, and it was really disappointing. Before we jump into some of those negatives that I was mentioning there briefly, I did appreciate that the film has some neat callbacks to the first two films, and it does a good job of tying itself into those movies and referencing it enough to where it feels like it's a part of the same universe and not just its own thing. But that begins the issue, because the focus of this movie is very much on setup and trying to get things rolling for this whole universe and making a big franchise out of it and continuations of it. But it doesn't ever give attention to being independently solid, because a lot of the foundation of this film is a mess, and I was so disappointed with how they handled the story. It's very empty. The narrative of this film has nothing to it. There's nothing drawing you into the story and into this universe. You don't really care too much because you've seen this plot before. It's very generic, and it doesn't reinvent the wheel. It doesn't bring anything to the table. The characters, they don't have any real motivations for why they're doing what they're doing. There is some heartfelt background given to Greta Lee's character, but there's not necessarily a real reason why she's trying to find the permanence code. Of course, her character is the one that you root for. She's the protagonist. You like her. She's charismatic. Greta Lee is great. But her character, the writing is poorly done. There's no characterization of her. Jared Leto, I'm not typically a fan of Jared Leto, so I knew I wasn't going to fully appreciate him in this film, but his performance did feel inconsistent. However, I don't know if that is necessarily his fault. The movie felt really indecisive about what it wanted to do. The writing is also very contrived and very boring. characters just happen upon the next chapter of the film. They happen upon the things that the film wants them to get to. And there's no reason to it. There's no rhyme, no rhythm, no flow. It just is forced, and it's for the sake of entertainment, which is fine, but the film takes itself so seriously to where I thought that they felt it was deeper than what it was. And it was really disappointing because, once again, the story is very flat and there's no narrative to it, and it's very contrived. It's not inspired. It's very dull. And throughout all of this, it creates more questions than answers. There's things that occur that aren't properly explained. If anything, they give an explanation without explaining a single thing. But at the end of the day, the thing that really halted this movie the most is that it was so focused on trying to build up future sequels rather than focusing on giving us a solid rendition right now. So, that being said, it's not a great movie. It was very disappointing, but I can see it as a guilty pleasure. I did find some enjoyment in it. You know, there are some good chase sequences. The music is fun. The action is decent at times. And the visuals are great. The production design is really stellar. There's a lot of creative people working behind the scenes of this film that put together a lot of really awesome props and costume design. Everything. It's just the execution of the film overall was faulty. So I am going to give Tron Ares a 2.5 out of 5 stars. I would rate this lower based on how low quality it feels in terms of the execution, but I have to admit I did have some fun with it. You know, there are some elements of this film that I appreciate from the perspective of being a guilty pleasure. And that's all to say. I acknowledge the movie sucks. It's not good. But I had some fun with it. It's a guilty pleasure. Otherwise, I would have probably given this film a 2 out of 5. What did you guys think of Tron Ares? Did you like it? Did you not like it? If you're a big fan of the Tron series, did it live up to what you were wanting to see? Did it disappoint you? I'd be curious to hear your thoughts and continue the conversation down in the comments below. God bless you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Tune in for more reviews coming real soon. Take care.